In this video, I want to talk to you about how TradingView alerts work, how it actually sends the signal to SIGNUM, and how SIGNUM then propagates it to your exchange. And I want to show you a couple of edge cases and methods to debug what is happening if something is happening that you did not expect, or a signal is not coming, or whatever it might be. This video would give you all the answers that you need to figure this out. Now, first of all, everything starts in TradingView, right? And you remember from the other videos, so this video is made for people who already use SIGNUM, okay? If not, then watch the other videos. And so if you have set up an alert, then it looks like this, right? You have the alert here, you find it, you can hover over to see the data. I will show you more of that because it's very important what happens here in this black box here. And before I go further showing you exactly how to set up an alert and which kind of issues you can run into, this is how it all plays out, right? So in TradingView, there is a strategy running on the servers of TradingView, okay? And whenever there is this case is a sell signal, this is a buy signal, whenever that happens, then we're using the alerts feature, right? These alerts to send this information about what the strategy did and how much it was buying and all this stuff. And it basically sends all of this information, fills in all of these placeholders. These are placeholders, right? The ones with the curly braces, and sends it to SIGNUM, okay? And SIGNUM fully understands this message and needs all of that information as well. And then it will do what you told it to do, right? So for example, if it's a buy signal, it will go to your exchange and buy the trading pair you told it to trade with, right? Because you choose the trading pair here in the drop down, and then SIGNUM goes and executes it for you, right? On the exchange you have connected. So far so good, right? It's pretty simple. And by the way, SIGNUM always goes to the exchange first to check how much money is there, and then sends another signal for the actual trade, because that's how it can make the 100% trading signal happen. This is just side information for you. And so this is why you need the alerts, right? So the alerts send the information out of TradingView into the world, into SIGNUM, right? And then SIGNUM understands it, connects to your exchange that you have connected, and does the right thing, okay? Does buying, selling, whatever it is, okay? So that is the flow if you see it from the top. And that is also the reason why when you have any kind of issues with trading signals, you have to start debugging in TradingView first, right? Because the signal starts in TradingView, goes to SIGNUM, so SIGNUM is second, and then goes to your exchange, so the exchange is third. So the first place to look is to go to the alert logs and to check, did it trigger at all? We're gonna talk about that in this video, but that's the first place to check, right? And then if it triggered, then it went into SIGNUM, and SIGNUM might have errors or something, right? It might have encountered errors, which you can see here in the logs, right? If there was an error, you will be able to see it will look like this. And make sure to read the whole thing, because on the back side of it, we have more information about what the exchange said, and it will just make it easier for you to fully understand what happened there. And also when you click on the bot itself, you can scroll down to see only these bots logs, okay? So that you don't have to find it in a huge amount of logs. So that is nice, right? So whenever you're debugging, you start in TradingView, you check the logs if it triggered at all, and then you go to SIGNUM, and then only you go to the exchange and check what happened there. And now I will open up the bot that I want to use for the demo in this video and talk about how to identify and fix all the trading signal issues and errors that you might have encountered. And we have put this together from all of your questions in the Telegram group, okay? So let's go. First of all, you create an alert on the strategy that you like. So I have this strategy in front of me right now. This is the Gaussian channel strategy on the 4-hour chart on the Bitcoin USD 4-hour index chart, right? So this is the data I get. And the settings I use are the ones that I also have explained in my other video when I talked about this particular strategy for the 4-hour, right? You have these settings here. I didn't change any of the properties. Everything else is the same. Now, let's say I create an alert for this, right? I click here, add alert. And the way to do that is, of course, very quickly, because you already know this, you go to your bot, you scroll down, you want to automate a trading strategy. So you copy the title, right? You put it here. You go back, you copy the message, the whole message. You replace this here. You go to the notifications, you turn on the webhook URL, and you put this URL here that you have from SIGNUM, right? And then you click create. And you have a trading alert now here in your alerts. Well, I have two now, which is a problem, but let's talk about that later. And what you need to realize right now is something very, very important, is that the settings of the strategy, right? These settings here, actually all of the settings, right? The properties as well, everything has been saved into the alert, all right? And so if we look here, And by the way, not only the strategy has been saved into the alert, but also which chart you are using, which time frame it was. Okay, so that's important. So when we hover over the alert that we have already created, let's say we have created this a month ago, right? Then you can see that HL2 is mentioned there, right? 4 poles, 144 sampling period, and filter true range multiplier is 2, right? You can see that. And if for some reason you went back here, right, and you have changed the settings, let's say you go to the 1-day chart, and let's say you go here and you say reset settings, and you go to the default settings of the Gaussian channel strategy on the 1 day, or let's say you have removed it from the chart and you have added it back, right? Then it comes with the default settings. Then that basically means that your strategy now is different than the alert. So let me go back to the 4 hour. Let's say you have experimented, right, on different assets, you have changed the settings, you have messed around. That's totally fine, right? You can mess around, and you come back to the 4 hour because you clicked on your alert and you came back to this chart, and now you're wondering, what the hell? There was a buy signal here, but there was no trigger in my logs. So what is happening, right? Well, what is happening is that the settings that you have right now on this chart are not the same as you have saved in your alert. As you can see here, it's HL3 on the chart, but in the alert it's HL2, right? You have 4 poles, 144, but then you have filtered true range multiplier. You have on the chart right now 1.414, but in the alert you have 2. So that means that what you see on the chart is not the same as the alert that you have set up. And that is the number one reason for confusion when it comes to why didn't my trade trigger, or why did it trigger although I don't see it on the chart, right? So if you want to see the same, it's not enough to click on the alert, because TradingView will not change the strategy settings to match the alert. It will only go to the chart and it will go to the time frame that you have chosen, but it will not change the strategy settings to match, because it doesn't, right? So this is how you can see that. Now there is one caveat, because when you go to the settings and you click on the checkboxes here, or you click on the checkboxes here, right, on every tick or whatever, then this information is not reflected in this pop-up here, right? You will not see it. Let me show you what I mean. So I've clicked on that, and now I'm gonna create an alert. I'm gonna just call it demo here for fun, and I'm not gonna send this to SIGNUM, just for testing, right? And so when I go back to the settings and I compare with my alert, then I can see that the last information it gives me in this parenthesis is number 2, and number 2 stands for filtered true range multiplier, but it doesn't show me the reduced lag mode or the fast response mode or anything like, so I don't know that, right? That means whenever you click on checkboxes, it is a smart idea to put that in the title of the alert so you remember what you have done. So in this particular case, let's say this is my alert for this strategy, and I just add another parenthesis and I say I clicked checkbox 1 is on and checkbox 2 is also on. You can give it the name that you like, right? This way you remember by putting it in the title that you have clicked on these checkboxes. So then when you compare the alert with the chart, you have to set your strategy back to what the alert was, okay? So this is a big topic, because TradingView doesn't make it easy, right, to recreate the same strategy settings just by clicking on the alert. You can also have the situation where you have already removed the strategy from your indicators because you don't have enough indicators, and now you click on the alert hoping that you will see exactly what the alert is doing, but that's sadly not the case. Now you see I'm on a fully different strategy, and it doesn't add the Gaussian channel on the 4 hour with the settings back to my chart, because what if you don't have enough indicators, right? So if you really want to see the same thing, then you have to recreate the alert with the same settings, with the same strategy. So I go here and I will just add the Gaussian channel by clicking on it one time. I will hide this. I will make sure the settings are the same. I will make sure that they match, right? So HL2, right, in this case, and here 2, and I double check quickly if the settings are the same. The checkboxes are not clicked because otherwise I would have put it in the title, right? Remember that. And again, the same thing here. If I click on any of these checkboxes, I have to mention it in the title. And now I have the exact same thing. And also I'm on the 4-hour chart on the same chart. So if you click on the alert, it will take you to the chart and it will take you to the right time frame. That's for sure. But it will do nothing to your strategy. That's up to you. And now I can see what happened and match it exactly. So if you go to the logs and you don't see any kind of trading alert, but in the chart you do, then it means that you're not in sync, right? Basically, your strategy on the chart is not the same as the alert that has been created back then, right? There is one more situation you can run into, and it has to do with the on every tick checkbox. As you can see here, the candle is not yet closed on the 4-hour, so the strategy didn't yet make a decision, and that's okay, right? But if you click on this checkbox, which you should never do, by the way, then you can see it pretends as if the 4-hour candle is closed and the strategy can make a decision. Now, if you leave it like that and you forget about it and then you create an alert, now you see where I'm going with this, right? If you create an alert with this, right, it will trigger in the middle of the day and it might repaint, right? Because it can change its mind. It can actually go further down and then it doesn't buy, but you bought already because you have on every tick. So please never ever use this feature, because if you run into this problem, it can again be a problem of your alert having that checkbox saved into it, while on the chart you don't see, and then you wonder why in your logs you suddenly see trades coming in, although on the chart is nothing. So that's another reason for confusion. So never ever use this checkbox. And if you are clicking it, then make sure to just remove it immediately after you have seen what you want to see, right? Because if you create an alert with this, you will 100% run into issues. One more thing I want to talk to you about is the time frame and when alerts get triggered and how often the strategy makes a decision. So it's actually quite simple to understand. If you're on the 1-day chart, then every candle you see here represents one full day of data. And because of best practice, you want to trade only when the candle is finished, right? Because then you see the full final shape of it and everyone else will react to the final shape of the candle, not like this, right? There was a wick, but nobody cares really, because if you see this, it looks like a bullish engulfing candle now, right? But during the day, it was very much red and went down here, like very far down. So basically, every 1 day, the strategy will make a decision to either buy, sell, or stay as it is, because you're on the 1-day chart. If you're on the 4-hour chart, then every 4 hours, the strategy will make that decision, right? If you're on the 1-hour chart, every 1 hour, it will make that decision, and so on and so on. And I will make a video on my personal channel about why every time frame below 4 hours is a full waste of time. That is important to know, because let's say you're on the 1-day chart and you set up an alert right now, and I've set up this one, right, just before I started clicking record here, and now I'm waiting 2, 3, 4, 5 days and nothing happens. So let's actually say that I set up the alert somewhere here, right? Let's say, okay? And since then, there was no trading alert at all, and that's okay, right? Because the strategy buys only when the price is above the upper line. But the price is not above the upper line, so there is no reason to buy, right? So the strategy didn't do anything, so you won't see any kind of alerts in your log. And that doesn't mean there is something wrong. It's just that the strategy didn't yet trade. No? So it's fine. Not for you at least. But in historic chart, you see it was trading. It's just that you need to be patient, right? So sometimes there is no reason to trade in between when you are in a good uptrend. So there was a signal, right? And if you join here or here or here, well, it's late, right? The strategy will not give you a signal because it has given already, right? You can decide to join later with less money. That's your decision. But then the next signal will be a sell signal at some point when the price closes below the upper line, right? So you have to just wait for the signal to come after you have created your alert. You will not get historic trading signals because that's crazy, you know, like it doesn't make sense to trade based on historic prices. You have to trade based on real-time prices, right? What's happening now. So if you have created your trading signal here, then you have to wait for the price, in this case, to go above the upper line, get a buy signal, then you will get the signal into SIGNUM and it will start trading, right? So make sure to be patient, right? Because if you're using a strategy like this one, there's a trend following strategy, then sometimes it takes time, right? So if you join here, then you have to wait until here to get the signal, right? So if you are choosing to use a strategy, well, then stick to the strategy, right? And that is why it's so important to look at the numbers, to check the performance. I have videos about that on my personal channel. That's the whole point, right? If you trust the strategy or you decided to put certain amount of money in a strategy, then stick to it, right? There's no reason to be impatient and to buy early or sell early, right? So after you created your alert, right, then only you can expect a signal to trigger and trade on your exchange. So if you have created your alert recently, then now you need to let the price action play out, right? So if it goes up and crosses above this line in this particular case, you'll be happy to get a buy signal. But if it goes down, right, and it doesn't recover, then you'll be happy that you didn't buy early and you just waited patiently for the signals, right? The next thing we have to talk about is triggering actual trading signals with the alerts and checking how they get executed. And while I was recording this video, I have these 2 alerts, which by the way is a problem. We should have only one. But I wanted to show you this. What happened meanwhile is that they triggered, right? And both of them triggered at the same time because they are for the same strategy, for the same time frame. And what happened in Signum is, you can see here by clicking refresh logs, you can see it came in only one time. And that is because Signum has a feature to ignore two signals coming in at the same time with the exact same timestamp, exact same action, which is, in this case, it was a buy signal, right? And you can see this signal arrived, and then basically 1 second later, it got executed. And then it says, not enough funds for Bybit, needs more USDT. And that is fine, right? And the reason why that is fine is because right now, actually you can see that by clicking on the bot. Right now, I have almost no USDT whatsoever. And with this little money here, the exchange wouldn't execute it anyway, right? And so I already have Bitcoin, and that is why the buy signal didn't buy, because there was no money, right? And that's fine. Like, that can happen because I was not synchronized with the funds on my exchange. So what happened here is basically saying, hey, it's an error, but maybe it's fine because there was a buy signal, but you already have it, right? But if this was a buy signal and you expected it to work, well, then it's an issue, right? But in this case, it's not an issue. And very often, like 99% of the time, when people see this kind of messages here, they are confused. They think that's a problem, but it's not the problem, because if you already have the asset, and I can show you here in my assets, unified trading, I already have Bitcoin, right? Here, not a lot, but still. And I have almost no USDT. It cannot buy. There's no money, right? And so the next time there is a sell signal, it can do it perfectly. So I don't need to touch this at all. And it will just get a sell signal next time whenever it happens. And it will work fine because I have BTC to sell, right? And it says here, this bot will use USDT when buying, but there was no USDT, so it couldn't buy, and BTC when selling. Okay, I have Bitcoin, so it can sell it, right? Depending on which asset you choose in the dropdown, it will change the message to simply help you understand that you need this asset for buy signals and this asset for sell signals. Now, if I choose something that I don't have any of these assets, then it will say you have to choose a trading pair that matches the assets you have. So I don't have Doge, so I cannot sell Doge when a sell signal comes. And I don't have USDC either, right? So I cannot buy when a buy signal comes. So it gives you a warning saying, listen, you chose a trading pair for which you don't have any of the assets required. You don't have USDC, you don't have Doge. So we want to warn you that you should change something. In that case, simply check the chart and understand what was the last signal of the strategy. In this case, it was a buy signal. It's a blue arrow coming from the bottom. So it's a buy signal. You can also see that here in the list of trades, because you can see there was a long and it's still open. So obviously it's invested, right? And when you see an arrow like this, a pink arrow from the top, it means the last signal was a sell signal. So you just need to be synchronized with the strategy. And the simplest way is to go here to the list of trades and check, is it invested or not? So if it looks like this, where the exit long is already closed, then you know it's fully out. And if it looks like this, then you know it's in a long position and it's still open. So the next one, the next signal will be a sell signal. So the sell signal will help me, right? Because I do have Bitcoin. Let me go back to BTC USDT. I do have Bitcoin to sell with. So I'm good, right? I just need to wait for the next signal to come. The next thing I want to talk to you about is how can you test if your setup works without waiting forever for signals to come? We have a solution for that. When you go here to your bots, click on your bot, scroll down a little bit, you find this, where we have a video about this topic, and also we have a trading strategy that trades on the 1 minute chart, not to make money, but to send you signals so you can see everything working, right? So you get a signal every minute. So I'm not going to show you in this video how to do it because we have the video already. But what I will tell you is that if you need more help, then click on the help button here on the top. We have an AI assistant, which I trained it personally with all of my YouTube videos, all of your questions and answers from our side, of course, and also with all our documentation. So it is quite smart, but if you still need help, go to the Telegram group, click on that link, and then you will arrive here on the Telegram group. We have the SIGNUM support group where we have administrators. Actually, for the whole channel, we have administrators, 5 of them, which are in different time zones, and they can always be there to help you, all right? So you can talk about strategies, you can talk about Signum, you can talk about charts and patterns, and you can even give me ideas for new videos. And with all of that in mind, now you are a professional, you know exactly how trading signals propagate from trading strategies, from TradingView into Signum and then into your exchange. It's pretty simple, and you have help from us if it's not simple, right? So if you want new features, if you want to give feedback, you have questions, then 100% make sure to join the Telegram. Make sure that You ask any kind of question, no matter how crazy it is, because we most likely either have a video for that. And by the way, in SIGNUM, you find a lot of interesting videos. You find this one here on the bots page. Then when you click on a bot, you have another video explaining how to set up the trading alert in TradingView, right? Where you put the title, the message, and the webhook. All of that is there. And we're going to add another video below the bot logs, which is this one, so that everyone can find it and understand how trading signals work and how to debug them whenever they need. So you see, we're adding a lot of value here. So make sure to take advantage of all of that. And I'll see you in the next one.